And we're going around the circle, and I think I was playing like Mac Airs, and everyone was doing their thing. And then Iman goes, I'm going to win today's session because I've got this girl, and you're just not going to believe what you're going to hear. And he pressed play. And Ilkema just got up. She just left the room. She's just like, nah, fuck this shit. Who is this? My design like lost his mind. He literally was just like, what the fuck? Everyone's like, how old is she? Damn. Thank you for doing this. I know last night you had your big headline sold out show. I wasn't sure what to expect. I knew what to expect from you sonically, but I didn't know what to expect of you as in stage presence wise. I was blown away by how engaging you are. How you like, there's moments where I thought you literally was like staring me dead in the eye and singing at me, just me. And I've seen videos from you when you were doing the Snow Allegra tour, and it was a little bit more reserved. Like, what happened? Where did this confidence, this craft of like owning the stage come from in such a short amount of time?
I just feel like, one, going from opening to headlining is a whole different vibe.
Right.
Like hearing people sing the music and know the lyrics and tear up in the crowd, and like it just brings back all of those emotions that I felt when I was writing the music. Mm-hmm. But when I first came to Europe, it was like a shock for me performing at first, because I didn't feel like I needed to entertain as so much as just like lean into the song and just kind of like, I don't know, we had to really rethink everything that we had been doing, like I guess in the States.
Right.
Like there was a different energy. They were more chill, and granted I'm opening too, so it's like a learning curve. People are hearing about me for the first time. But it kind of just challenged me to just, you know, not give so much and just more like pour into the song. And so I felt like last night, especially like being in London, the energy is just like electrifying.
You looked so happy on stage. Like every time I just saw you close your eyes, you would like hug yourself basically. And I felt like you were just trying to live in the moment as much as you could.
Absolutely.
And funny enough, I was with Robert Glasper on Sunday.
Oh, word.
And we were talking about obviously Fuck Your Feelings and the whole process and picking features. And I asked him, I said, okay, so when you was doing these sessions, these jams in the studios, who came through that surprised you the most? Because he's been working, with 3 decades now with everybody you could think of. And you were the only person he actually mentioned.
Wow.
And I asked him, I said, well, what is it about Baby Rose that you were so taken by? And he just said, you know, I've come across a lot of weird voices, as he described. And he said, but her voice, he said, you hear it and you think, what the fuck happened to you? And he was just explaining how someone your age and how you just like condone yourself and how you go about your business. And then what comes out that's so powerful and so painful and so old, essentially. That must be incredible for someone like a legend like Robert Glasper to say that about you.
No, that's insane.
That's your voice does that to people?
I'm glad. Like, I'm grateful, you know, to be able to have like an instrument that gets across what I'm trying to say. You know, I think one of the highest compliments could be that I just can't figure it out. Like, because it allows me so much room to just do whatever I want to do, you know.
Did it take a long time before people maybe understood what you were doing and why you sound the way you sound? I think some people, if you have a history in like maybe a lot of ladies of blues, you get it.
Yeah.
But I can understand maybe that a few younger people or people who've just not been into that sound growing up, they can hear you and think, this is quite odd.
I feel like for me, it took a while for me to understand like what it is I was trying to do with my voice and like my passion for music that I've had since I was a kid. Like just trying so many different things and like trying to fit basically a square into a circle and make it palpable for people, like make music that I heard on the radio and certain things. But the moment I kind of dove into like what I love in music and like all of the genres that I love, like all of the nuances, and with my own experience and like my own story to tell, it was just like, I know that what I give isn't common, I guess. It's more, you know, it reminds you of a lot of things. It reminds me of all of the things that I love about music in a way, like a pot of it. And so I think I'm just over like trying to convince people. It's more of like those who absolutely are like there for me, I know are here for me.
And they're there to stay.
Because I'm not giving anything that's fabricated or like trying to fit or be anything else. It's more like, this is who I am. Like,
this is what it is. This is what I sound like. This is what it is.
And I'm an artist, so I'm very, you know, I'm sensitive about my art, but at the same time, it's more like I'm also very like sure and confident about my work. Like I love what I do, and I love performing. I love rehearsing. I love creating. Like I love all aspects of it, and I'm very grateful for this to be like my position and like have the opportunities that I do. So it's just more like, okay, you know, I'm here, so.
Well, it looks like you're here to stay. I genuinely, when I was watching you on the stage last night, I have this every now and then. I go to gigs a lot. I'm so lucky, and I said this to my friend yesterday, I'm so happy that I saw you on that stage yesterday, because I think a year or 2 years from now, that's impossible. Like, we're not going to be able to catch you on stages like that anymore. And I want to see that journey, and I'm glad I've been there from that first headline London show, because I think from here on, you are the real deal. Like, I saw it yesterday, and people tearing up in the crowd. That, especially the city like coldest London, people are unimpressed all the time. Like, nobody but like, let's be honest, like, we stand there with our arms folded at concerts going, yeah, like, give me my money's worth and let's go. People were there with their mums, with their dads, with their kids, tearing up. It was, you are the real fucking deal. But I'm going to stop complimenting you now. I have a question.
Okay.
As an outsider, like a non-American person, you're based in Atlanta, Georgia. Have you ever thought about if you were maybe in, like, let's say New York, that maybe the craft would have been understood a lot easier or earlier, but just because of assumptions that we have of what sounds are more popular in the South?
Atlanta kind of has a rep for what is popular for now, which is trap. Like, that's at the forefront. But Atlanta's still in the heart of the South. And, like, the South for forever has this soul and this culture that is just at the belly of it, you know? And all my life, like, I've lived underneath the Mason-Dixon line, which is D.C., like, continually going down.
Because that's where you were born, right?
I was born in D.C., then I spent my childhood in North Carolina, Fayetteville. And then I went down to Atlanta when I was 18.
Right.
And just stayed there. I think that it really kind of challenged me to be able to utilize what I had. Like, going into studios and understanding, like, most of them don't have instruments and things like that. And you meet producers and they're all trying to, like, for the most part, be on the scene and get a hit, and they have their tags and they're just doing their thing for trap music, which is understandable. But they also, the people that I've met and I worked with early on, have this musicality about them. Like, they love sampling too,
right? Which
that brings you into a whole different realm of, like, folk music and psychedelic and soul and classic music. That's the type of shit that I love about music. And so it's like, I feel like if I was to be in New York or anywhere else in the world at the time when I really started to hone in on myself on my own, I wouldn't have as pure of an incubation period to just, like, grow and, like, make mistakes and be forgiven and not have everything in my face and everyone judging me. Like in Atlanta, people work together and it's not any type of clique situation. It's more like we're homies, we're helping each other out, like we're all growing together, you know. That's
nice. That's good to hear, actually.
Yeah, it's fine.
I remember you saying on stage last night, you're like, I made a whole album based off of a breakup. And then I love it also that you reintroduce yourself onto the stage, calling yourself petty. I'm always there. I'm always there for that. Have they heard or reached out? I know they've heard the album. Have they reached out at any point?
No.
No. I always wonder, because you know, with like big, like projects that go big or songs that go big, I always think whoever the ex is, they know it's about them. Like, for sure.
Yeah.
They must be feeling horrendous, no?
I don't think so. One thing that I will say is that the person I was with was very like mature. So they were like, yeah.
Okay.
I have been with people that are super, oh my God, petty,
right?
And just annoying and like, I don't know. I really appreciate like the moving on, like block, forget about it, wish you well, pray for you, and you know, those lessons are learned, and that's cool.
Right.
So,
well, that's something I should probably learn to do as well. I'm still like, are you okay? You right? So now, you know, you're traveling, you're touring. Mm-hmm. Are you writing at the moment? Like, are you writing while you're on the road?
I write, but it's more like journaling and poetry that hopefully will manifest itself into songs. But I'm just trying to stay present as I'm like touring, because this is all new to me.
So is this like new topics that are kind of evolving in your lyrics, in your stories?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's more like an urge to just grow. Like, me personally, it's not more looking externally at everybody else. It's kind of like, what do I need? And like going back into my past, and certain things like trigger certain memories, and it's just like, wow, this is like a full circle moment out of nowhere.
It's nice. What is one thing you miss the most from home when you're on the road?
Oh man, especially now, I like miss my mom a lot.
You really close to your mom?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was there on my first tour that I ever did, which was last year. Yeah. And then she came at the beginning of this tour for a few dates. But like, when she's there on the road, she like brings this atmosphere of just, I don't know, like this motherly, like we, till this day, like we always pray before we go on and like eat meals together. And it's not like some type of, I don't know, just this is a job, we're on tour or whatever. It's like a very familiar feeling, which I love. Like that energy stays behind, but I miss her when I'm on the road sometimes.
That's really cute. Well, you're gonna be reunited soon, no?
Yeah,
Ish.
I might stay in LA for a little while. But.
Yeah, I heard you still got some shows coming up. If you could bring back something from London, whether that's an actual thing or an energy or maybe some mannerisms or a way of thinking that we have over here, back to Atlanta, what would you bring back?
I know this is weird, but literally when I get back to Atlanta and I look at like the streets, the roads,
right?
I wish they were cobblestone.
They're so annoying to walk on.
I don't care. They're so beautiful. I just wish the aesthetic, like, I love the aesthetic here.
It's cute, isn't it? It's picturesque.
And I love that most of the days are overcast and it doesn't rain. It's like just, that's the best time to
switch?
No.
Because we don't really get much sun here, and trust me, it shows after a while.
I love overcast days. I don't know. I'm weird like that, but
probably helps with the writing a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for yesterday. I'm still not over it. I can't wait to see you perform more. I want to see who else you're going to be making music with. the evolution in your sound. You know, I know you get compared a lot to like loads of different people. But yesterday, I thought of like a new comparison when I saw you on stage. Do you remember 3 non-blondes? Was it 4 non-blondes? 3 non-blondes.
No.
You should look them up. They were like all women's rock and roll group. So that they had like Alanis Morissette, and during the same heydays of her, there was also 3 non-blondes. And when I saw you yesterday, you reminded me of them. And I think when you look them up, you're gonna absolutely love them.
Oh.
Because they're badass, they're amazing, and vocally just also so different.
Fire.
Baby Rose, I can't wait to see more. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're all done.